Yo, listen close. We've all dialed those 3 numbers, right? 911. It's instinct. You get in trouble, you see something sketchy, you call the boys in blue. You expect a human on the other end to tell you help is coming? That's the deal? But check this. What happens when the call comes in, but there's nobody on the other end to make it? I'm talking about a case from back in the day that the department tried to bury deep. Real deep. A call comes into dispatch at 3 a.m. Screaming, begging, pure terror. The cops rush over, kicks down the door, guns drawn, ready to smoke whoever is hurting this person. But when they get inside, the house is empty. And I don't mean nobody's home. I mean the floors are covered in an inch of dust. The windows are boarded up from the inside. And the phone? The landline where the call came from? Homie, the wire was cut, snipped, severed for 10 years. So you tell me, how the hell did that call go through? And who was screaming? Let me paint the picture for you. We're talking about a house on the edge of town. You know the type. Every hood has one. The paint is peeling off like dead skin. The lawn is just weeds waist high. And the windows look like black eyes staring at you. Locals stayed away. Even the crackheads didn't squat there. Even the graffiti artists didn't tag it. That's how you know a spot is truly cursed. When even the people who got nothing to lose won't step foot on the property. The place had been vacant since the late 90s. The previous owner? Let's just say he checked out early and not in a peaceful way. Since then, nothing, no power, no water, no gas. The city cut everything off years ago. It was just a rotting wooden box sitting on a concrete slab. Legally, it didn't exist. To the electric company, it was a dead zone. But apparently, the phone lines remember things. So boom, it's Tuesday night. Or Wednesday morning, I guess. 3:03 a.m. The graveyard shift at the dispatch center. Usually it's quiet. Maybe a DUI, maybe a domestic dispute down on 5th Street. Standard stuff, but then a call lights up the board. The dispatcher, let's call her Sarah, she plugs in. She expects someone to say hello or help. Instead, she hears static. Heavy, wet static, like someone breathing through a lungful of water. And then, underneath that noise, a voice. A woman's voice. She's whispering. He's in the hallway. He's coming up the stairs. Please. Sarah is a pro, right? She starts typing, trying to keep the caller calm. She's like, "Ma'am, what's your address? Stay on the line." The voice on the other end screams, not a normal scream. A sound that made Sarah rip her headset off. It was a distorted digital shriek that went on for way too long. Then, click. Line dead. Sarah traces the call. The GPS, the triangulation, everything points to that rotbox house on the edge of town. The one that's been empty for a decade. 2 patrol cars get the call. 2 rookies and a vet named Officer Miller. They pull up to the house. No sirens. They cut the lights. Miller later said the vibe was straight up wrong. The air felt heavy. You know that feeling when you know someone is watching you, but you can't see them? That. The front door is nailed shut. Windows are boarded. There's no way in. Miller bangs on the door. "Police! Open up!" Nothing. Dead silence, just the wind rattling the siding. They think, okay, maybe some junkie broke in the back and is hurt. So they grab the ram. Bam! They bust the back door open. They sweep the ground floor. Flashlights cutting through the dark. And this is where it gets messy. The dust on the floor are undisturbed, smooth, like a gray blanket. If someone was in there screaming 5 minutes ago, where are the footprints? Where's the struggle? There's nothing. No rats, no bugs, just dust and silence. They go upstairs. Guns up, checking corners. They find the master bedroom. In the middle of the room, sitting on a bare wooden floor, is an old-school phone. One of those rotary joints. Miller walks up to the phone. He's sweating now. He knows something ain't right. He looks at the device. It's covered in grime. He follows the cord. It snakes across the floor, goes toward the wall jack, and stops. The cord is cut, clean. Just a frayed end lying on the floor about 3 feet from the wall. It's not plugged in. It hasn't been plugged in for years. Miller picks up the receiver. He puts it to his ear. Silence. No dial tone. Just dead plastic. He radios back to dispatch. Sarah, you sure this is the address? She says, 100%. I have the log right here. The call originated from that landline at 3:03 a.m. Duration 45 seconds. Miller looks at the cut cord. He looks at the thick dust on the receiver that he just disturbed with his own hand. Nobody had touched that phone in years. Fingerprints? None. Heat signature? The room was freezing. They tore that house apart looking for a hidden cell phone, a prankster, a speaker, anything. They found nothing, just an empty shell. The official report? Equipment malfunction. That's what they wrote down. Glitch in the system. They said the call came from somewhere else and the computer just routed it to the wrong address. Cap. That's pure cap, and they know it. Sarah, the dispatcher? She quit 2 weeks later. She said she listened to the recording again, and she noticed something. In the background, behind the screaming woman, there was another sound. It sounded like 2 people digging. The sound of a shovel hitting dirt, rhythmically. Thump, thump, thump. The house was demolished a year later. Now it's just an empty lot, weeds and dirt. But neighbors say if you walk past that lot at 3 a.m., your phone loses signal every single time. So let me ask you this, and don't lie to yourself. If you're home alone tonight and your phone rings, but the caller ID says it's coming from your own house, do you pick it up? Or do you just let it ring